Welcome to my next Lost. Season 3 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Lost, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, I've already seen the show Lost 3 times. This is of course my 4th time watching the show, and it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. The last few times that I've watched it, I really haven't let things resonate. I've been binging it. So this time I'm taking my time with the show, only watching about 1 to 3 episodes per week. But I'm not the only one that's watching Lost. The legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who you see in my comment section for Dexter, Lucifer, Breaking Bad, and other random videos on the channel, is actually watching Lost for the first time, and he's in for a real treat. So join us on the journey and let's discuss this awesome and amazing show. However, no spoilers past this episode, as at the moment of this recording, I don't know how far along the legendary Crazy Coffee Man is. He might not be far along. He might just be on this episode. So no spoilers past this episode. With all that said, this will be Lost, Season 3, Episode 2. The title of this episode is called The Glass Ballerina. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we start off with our flashback stuff. We have a glass ballerina flying through the air gracefully and then smashes on the floor. A young son runs away with fear. Later, her father confronts her, asking if it was she who broke the glass ballerina. Son denies breaking the glass figurine, telling her father that it was the maid who broke it. Despite her father's threat to fire the maid as a consequence, she stands by what she said. Then we go back to our current time. We have Sun washing her face in the bathroom of the Elizabeth, the boat that Desmond has gotten from Libby that I didn't remember. As Jin enters to check on her, she tells him that it's morning sickness. They go to the top deck, where Saeed is waiting. The three of them debate the best course of action. Saeed thinks of moving to a different part of the island because the mountains may be blocking Jack's sight of the signal fire, but Jin refuses, as he thinks he is the only one who knows how to sail. But he is wrong, as Sun knows too, and she will help Saeed. Juliet brings Jack soup she made herself. When Jack pays her no attention, she leaves and knocks on the door, which Ben opens. Behind him, we can see TV monitors with security footage as Ben and Juliet share a moment outside Jack's cell. Colleen enters by a ladder, warning Ben that Saeed has discovered the decoy village and that he has somehow acquired a sailboat. Although Juliet states that this is not a threat, they'll just sail around in circles. Ben and Colleen seem worried that they will find the Hydra station. Ben tells Colleen to gather a team and that he wants that boat. Sawyer wins another fish biscuit. That's always a win. Danny, Pickett, and some more others open the cages and give them lunch. They escort Sawyer and Kate along a pathway. They cross paths with Colleen's team, and she asks Pickett to wait. She whispers something to him about her mission. He tells her to be careful and kisses her on the cheek, and then Sawyer watches with a smirk. While sailing to the mountains, Jin questions Sun as to why she even came with Saeed and him in the first place. She simply responds that he knows why she must be with him. Then we go back to our flashback. Sun is in bed with Jay Lee, the man who offered to give her lessons on how to speak English. Feeling guilt, she reminds him that she is married and so she cannot go on further. Jay Lee offers her a string of pearls, saying that he doesn't want to share her anymore, and offers that they go to America and start a new life. Before she can answer, Sun's father breaks into the room and tells a deeply ashamed Sun to get dressed. Sawyer and Kate are taken to a quarry where a number of others are working. Pickett tells Kate to break up the rocks and tells Sawyer to move them. He also warns them that if they attempt anything that pisses him off, they will be shocked with the stun gun. When Kate demands to see Jack, Pickett shocks Sawyer as her punishment for speaking. Back to our flashback, Mr. Pike assigns Jin, Sun's husband, the task of putting an end to Jay Lee's stealing from him. When Jin refuses, threatening to quit if this must be his job, Pike gives a speech to Jin, referring to him as Sun. My shame is your shame. And Pike tells him, finally, Jin accepts. On the boat, Jin angrily prepares some fish. Jin, Sun, and Saeed spot the Pala ferry dock. They believe that this is the others, but Saeed says that it has not been used for some time, and whoever built it, they're not here now. Saeed tells Jin that the dock is overgrown. They decide to dock. Jin does not think it is safe, but Saeed says, of course it's safe. While Kate is working, which has distracted Sawyer, Alex is hiding in the bushes and asks Kate if she has seen a boy in cages. Kate replies that she hasn't seen him. Alex then tells Kate that the dress Kate is wearing was hers, but that Kate looks better in it. Well, yeah, Kate looks amazing. And then Kate tells Sawyer to quit staring at her ass. And Sawyer says, give me something else to stare at. Love that line. Of course, he said freckles, too. As Saeed, Sun, and Jin build the new signal fire, Sun questions why it is so large, and Saeed says that it is so that Jack will see the smoke, but Sun asks him why he is lying, and Saeed admits that he suspects that the other party has been captured, and he plans to provoke an attack by the others in order to capture two of them as hostages. And kill the rest. When Sun asks why they must capture exactly two, Saeed replies that it is to make the other one talk. And Saeed thinks that Jin will be too concerned with Sun's safety to carry out his plan, or this plan, and asks her not to tell him for another 20 minutes when it will be too late to change plans. Back to our flashback, when Jin arrives home, he is further aggravated by Sun and her risky suggestion to run away to another part of the world. He reminds her that what he does for her father is the cost of being able to be with her, and he leaves the room to deliver the message. Jin later demands a gun from Saeed, telling Sun that he understands English better than she thinks he does, and he knows that she has betrayed him. Sun gives him a gun, asking if he can handle it, but before he can finish his sentence, Jin has checked that the gun is loaded and has it prepared. Saeed looks surprised while Sun looks away, apparently in shame. As Jin walks off, Saeed tells Sun that there is another gun hidden on the boat in the blue tarp, just in case the others get past Jin and himself. Sun tells him that if they get past, that means Jin is dead and that she won't care to live anymore. Sawyer catches Juliet's eye as she drinks water. She offers him the bottle, but despite her friendly smile, Sawyer simply upends the bottle in a gesture of defiance. Sawyer breaks the rules and kisses Kate in apparent display of romantic passion. Pickett steps in to separate them. Sawyer punches him, sparking a fight. Luke and the others try to suppress Sawyer, but he overpowers them and grabs a dropped rifle. As Sawyer looks up, he sees that Juliet is holding Kate at gunpoint, and she tells James to give up, and Sawyer reluctantly drops his resistance. Back to our flashback, Jin waits in a car. He follows Jay Lee to his hotel room and violently attacks him and puts a gun to Jay Lee's head and is about to kill him. Jay Lee cries that he's sorry, thinking that Jin is attacking him because of his affair with Sun. Jin cannot bring himself to pull the trigger and warns him to leave Korea and never return. As Jin sits in his car afterwards, the body of Jay Lee falls from the above onto the hood of the car, clutching the pearl necklace he wanted to give Sun. Once night falls, Saeed and Jin look into the jungle from a tree, guns ready, but at the same time, a group of others board the Elizabeth from the water, avoiding Saeed and Jin's trap on the beach. Sun hears noises above the deck and gets the gun. Colleen climbs down into the lower deck and sees a pot on the stove. Colleen hears a noise and turns to find Sun pointing a gun at her. Sun says that she wants them to let her off the boat. Colleen refuses, saying that she can't do that. She knows Sun's full name and knows that she is not a killer. She then states that we are not the enemy, but if you shoot me, that's exactly what will become. As the engine starts up, Colleen approaches Sun, who shoots Colleen in the stomach. Sun narrowly avoids the gunfire from Tom and Ivan, who see her downstairs after the gunshot. Sun actually is able to escape the Elizabeth by jumping overboard and swimming through the darkness. Meanwhile, Jin and Saeed realize what is happening and they run towards the gunfire. They hear Jin jumps into the water after Sun, and the two embrace after finding each other. Back at the beach, Sun sits dripping wet when Jin comes over to embrace her. Back to our flashback. Sun watches Jay's funeral from a far distance, not wanting anybody to see her. However, her father spots her and confronts her about why she is there. Sun questions her father as to whether or not he would tell Jin about her and Jay's relationship. She said that it was not his place to do so and left, telling Sun to go home to her husband. Saeed then comes to Jin and Sun to tell them how he is sorry and that he will listen to Jin in the future. He says that they should go. They have a long walk ahead of them. That evening, back in the cages, Sawyer speaks to Kate and reveals that he was testing the strength of their guards, and it seems that the others weren't used to violence. He also says that Juliet would have shot Kate without hesitation, and that now they have to wait until the others make a mistake. Kate asks Sawyer why she called him James, and he tells her that that is because that is his name. Sawyer tells Kate she tastes like strawberries, and she tells Sawyer that he tastes like fish biscuits. While they talk, Benjamin Linus, or Ben, is watching and listening to them on the security monitors. Ben visits Jack. He jokes, telling him a week ago they were in the exact opposite situation. Ben has locked up in the Swan, and Jack was the one coming for visits. He then goes on to tell Jack that he lied about his identity because if he had told the truth about being a member of the group that the survivors called the others, it would have been right back to Saeed and his fists. Ben tells Jack that he wants him to change his perspective on things. He introduces himself as Benjamin Linus, like I've been saying, and offers his hand, which Jack rejects. He also tells Jack that he has lived on the island his whole life and that Jack's friends are close by. Ben tells Jack that he will need him to do something for him in the future, and he will take him home, just like he did for Walt and Michael. Jack tells Ben he thinks that the others are stuck on the island just like them, and Ben proves that the others have contact with the outside world by telling Jack about the events that happened since Flight 815 crashed, including the re-election of U.S. President George W. Bush, the death of Christopher Reeve, and the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series. I hated when the Red Sox won. Well, I liked it at first, but then Red Sox fans became really annoying. Anyway, Jack laughs at this. Ben shows Jack the video of the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series, and then Ben tells Jack that he will take him home if Jack helps him when the time comes, and that's what ends this episode of Lost. So it was a good episode, but nothing too crazy. I'll score the episode an 8.0 out of 10, and then my characters of the episode are going to be Sawyer, Sun, and Jin, and it was pretty good. I like the whole reveal about George W. Bush, Christopher Reeve, and the Boston Red Sox to Jack, because Jack thought like the Boston Red Sox would never win it because it'd been 86 years, so that was pretty good. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Lost and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are with this episode of Lost. What would you rate it? Who would be your characters of the episode, or anything else that you want to add? Interact with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.